Be starting in next 2 minutes, sir.
So, Dr. Namit, how long you been working in this institute?
Yes, sir.
How many years you are now at this institute?
I have been working here since last 22 years, sir.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
long time.
I joined this institute in 1999, and
Wow.
then going through the different phases of career. Since last 2016, since last 5 years, I'm working as director of engineering.
That's amazing. That's long time. Yes.
Thank you.
And all those people around in the screen, who has been at the university for longest?
There are many people who are working since last 26 years, 25 years with us.
Okay.
Uh, we have faculty members from the basic sciences who are here with us since last 25 years also.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's a really long time.
yeah. Uh, Honorable Vice Chancellor sir is joining here in next 2 minutes, and as soon as he joins, we'll be starting with the program,
So,
sir.
what's the background to this institution? Is it started by some Guruji or?
No, no, sir. No,
No,
actually, uh, this organization, the Vaishnav Trust, started somewhere in 1884. It was started by the that time cloth market merchants, traders, and mill owners, and they actually imposed a self tax on themselves. So, our honorable Chancellor sir will definitely be talking about that today. And
Okay.
from 1951 onwards, they are in the education field.
Oh,
So,
okay.
nearly 21,000 students are studying right now in this whole all the institutes of the
So
globe.
you are recognized as a university, or you are affiliated to another university?
Now, we are a recognized
no, no.
university by UGC.
Do you have any partnerships with international universities?
Yeah, we have
Yes, yes.
two partnerships. We have partnership with St. Cloud State University, Minnesota, USA, and Nanyang University, South Korea, Seoul. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so we are having the academic faculty student exchange programs with these institutes,
Oh,
with
very
these
nice.
universities abroad. And we are actually, as a university, we are a very budding university. We have just started in 2015 as a university, and our visionary chancellor and vice chancellor sir and the whole management, they have actually have a wonderful vision to take it forward.
I heard India now announced they want to increase the cohort participation rate from 20% to 40%.
Yeah, as per the new educational policy which was declared in 2020. Sir, you kindly excuse me for a minute, sir.
Panelists will
So Dr. Guru Prasad, you're right next to me on the screen, so I'm just going to talk to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm looking at the
I'm
screen.
I'm heading the basic sciences. I'm working as director of Vaishnav Institute of Science.
I see. So your background is what, biology or physics?
Biology, yeah, biotechnology, yes.
Oh, biotechnology is wonderful. I have a question for you.
Yes, please.
So can you define the life?
Oh,
No, I'll tell you why. Because there's an article recently which talks about virus. And then they were saying that normally we identify life with ability to have a metabolism. It has an ability to multiply.
Yes.
Whereas this virus doesn't have those infrastructure, but
Yeah,
is
that's
able
right.
to take over a cell and make it to work for itself.
Yeah.
So,
Sir,
virus is-
Honorable
yeah.
Vice Chancellor, sir, has joined, sir. So,
Good morning from India.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Very good. I just picking the brains of your colleagues.
Okay.
sir,
But
can we-
courtesy virtual platform.
Yes, absolutely. This is a new way of new world. Yeah.
Yeah. New normal.
Yes. So normally I
we-
used to travel every 2 weeks, but now it's like 15 months. I did not take a flight.
Yeah.
can
Okay,
we-
let us start then.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Rupa, madam, please.
Yes, sir. Innovation is the most important part of the technological change process. While invention provides the spark for technological change, it is development of technology by innovation which provides the energy and allows the new technology to make a contribution. It is innovation which brings an invention into commercial use by converting it into a product, process, and design which can be used or applied and for which there is a real demand. A very good morning to Honorable Chief Guest, Professor N.S. Vyas, Chairman Technology Mission for Indian Railways, Ministry of Railways, Government of India. Respected Professor C. Ramakrishna, Co-Director of NUS, Nanoscience and Nanotechnology Initiative, Professor Mechanical Engineering Department, National University of Singapore. Honorable Chancellor SVV, Shri Purushottam Das Ji Pasari, Honorable Vice Chancellor SVV, Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorary Secretary, Shri Vishwavidyalaya Trust, Shri Kamal Narayan Ji Guradia, Dean FDSR, Dr. Santosh Dhar, Director, Shri Vaishnav Institute of Technology and Science, Dr. Namit Gupta, Organizing Secretary of the conference, Dr. Rakesh Malviya, Head, Mechanical Engineering Department, Dr. Shrikant Pandey, Head of the institutes, head of the departments, faculty members, participants, and dear students. I feel privileged to welcome you all in the International Conference on Innovations in Product, Process, and System Design. As part of our tradition, we seek blessings of Ma Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, before beginning any event. I request our technical team to play the AV for virtual lamp lighting.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा
us now extend a genial welcome to our chief guest and keynote speaker. I request our technical team to facilitate the virtual welcome of our honorable chief guest and keynote speaker. Now, I invite Organizing Secretary of the conference, Dr. Rakesh Kumar Malviya, to brief us about the event.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to all. Attendees of today's inaugural session, Chief Guest of the function, Professor N.S. Vyas, Chairman, Technology Mission for Indian Railway, Ministry of Railway, Government of India. Keynote Speaker, Professor Sriram Ramakrishnan, Professor, Mechanical Engineering Department, National University of Singapore. Respected Shri Purushottam Dasji Pasari, Honorable Chancellor, Shri Vishwavidyalaya Vishwavidyalaya Indore, and Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Shri Vishwavidyalaya Vishwavidyalaya Indore, Shri Kamal Narayanji Buradia, Honorary Secretary, Shri Vishwavidyalaya Trust, Dr. Namit Gupta, Director of Shri Vaishnav Institute of Technology and Science, Dr. Shrikant Pandey, Head of Mechanical Engineering Department, all the Honorable HOIs, Deans, HODs, faculty members, and students of Shri Vishwavidyalaya Vishwavidyalaya Indore, all the speakers, session chairs, and reviewers of this conference, all the participants, my dear friends and colleagues. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you all in this international conference on innovations in product process and system design, scheduled to be held during March 5th and 6th, 2021. This international conference facilitates a common platform to the manufacturing industry leaders, academicians, and researchers to share and interchange their ideas and knowledge for the benefits of mechanical engineering fraternity. The international conference will offer a unique platform for the discussion on the future of mechanical engineering towards innovations in product, process, and system design through a wide range of interesting and innovative lectures and presentations from manufacturers, suppliers, academic, government, and other experts from the mechanical perspective. There has been an overwhelming response to the call for papers from the mechanical engineering research fraternity, include researchers, academicians, and organizations all over the world. Total 125 papers received and 82 papers were accepted for the publication. This paper presents theoretical, practical, mathematical modeling, and applications of case studies. Around more than 100 delegates will be attending the conference in virtual mode, which consists of one keynote address, one plenary session, and 14 parallel technical sessions with 28 session chairs. This session ranges from mathematical modeling, simulation to industrial applications and industrial management. The international conference is well supported by Journal of Engineering Research Kuwait, which is a science citation index journal, by agreeing to publish the selected papers in the special issue. On the behalf of organizing committee this international conference, I welcome you all in this 2 days conference. This conference will definitely help the research fraternity to gain knowledge of new technology being adopted in mechanical engineering in the current scenario. With this word, I once again thanking to all the participants for participating in this conference. Thank you. Thank you very much. Over to you, madam.
Yeah, thank you, sir. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. To share the journey of Shri Vaishnav Institute of Technology and Science and Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, I invite Director Shri Vaishnav Institute of Technology and Science, Dr. Namit Gupta. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam, and good morning to all. Respected chief guest on the occasion, Dr. N.S. Vyas, Chairman, Technology Mission of Indian Railway, Dr. Sriram Ramakrishnan, Professor, Mechanical Engineering Department, National University of Singapore, keynote speaker, Honorable Chancellor of Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Shri Purushottam Dasji Pasari, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorary Secretary of Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Trust, Shri Kamal Narayanji Buradia, all the guests, delegates, head of the institutes, head of the departments, and all the participating students. At the outset, I would like to once again welcome you all for the inaugural session of International Conference on Innovations in Product, Process, and System Design. As we all know, that face of engineering is changing very rapidly in the world. Rather, I would say that it was the new technological developments in engineering which continuously changed the industrial, civil, electrical, and other production outputs of the industry. It was the invention of steam-based machines, followed by electric-based machines, which contributed towards Industry 1.0 and Industry 2.0. The development of electromechanical systems and novel changes of semiconductor electronics contributed for the industrial development in the Industry 3.0 era. Now, in last 3 decades, the growth of computers, sensors, actuators, and other electronic and IT-based technology with the support of IoT-based solutions operating wirelessly have brought us into a new era of Industry 4.0. The rapid and fast flow of large or big information or big data with the development of internet has facilitated all the sectors of engineering, and more innovative ideas are now taking shape of product and systems. We at Sri Vaishnav Institute of Technology and Science, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, are committed to offer new industry-linked, job-oriented courses to all the aspiring engineers. Apart from conventional engineering courses like civil, mechanical, and electrical engineering, we also have initiated undergraduate and postgraduate courses in plant engineering, solar energy engineering, industrial engineering, computer-based design and manufacturing, and most recently, electric vehicle engineering. The curricula and syllabus of these courses are designed after consultation with the industry experts so as to provide the knowledge of the latest trends of industry. As a part of our curricula, one whole semester, that is the 8th semester of undergraduate course, students are required to undergo a 6 months industrial internship. This provision has helped us and our students to have a better and deeper understanding as well as connect with the industry. In last 2 years, more than 150 different companies has been connected under this system. So at Sri Vaishnav Institute of Technology and Science, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, we are committed to provide quality education. In the end, I would once again like to congratulate all the participants and wish them all the best. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I invite Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Dr. Upinder Dhar, to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Morning to all of you. Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. N.K. Vyas, in absentia because he had to rush to Bhopal due to some unscheduled meeting. Professor Sriram Ramakrishna from NUS, Singapore. Honorable Chancellor of the University, Shri Purushottam Das Ji Pasari. Honorary Secretary of the Trust, Shri Kamal Narayan Ji Buradia. Dr. Namit Gupta. All other directors of the university, HODs, colleagues, guests, delegates, and my dear young friends, that is students. At the outset, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you on this special occasion when we are inaugurating the International Conference on Innovations, Product, Process, and System Design. I would also like to congratulate our organizing team for choosing a very timely and apt theme for this conference. Innovations are very important and, in fact, have gained more importance today. When we look around, we don't see the products of Nokia or Kodak today. Why? Perhaps innovation is not their priority. They were complacent, these companies used to be big names, were complacent with what they were offering to the market. But they could not survive. They could not hold that leadership position, market leadership position, because innovations were missing. On the other hand, we are able to see around products of Apple, we see the Uber, which are the products which are happening because of the innovations. Schumpeter spoke about creative destruction in 1976, implying that when any innovation happens, when a new product comes to the market, when an improved product comes into the market, it destructs the earlier product, the product that was existing earlier. So the new product, the innovative product, takes the place, new place. So this he observed as creative destruction. There is destruction of the old product, but at the same time, a new product emerges, which is more useful to the society, which caters to the needs of wider sections of society. According to Oslo Manual, which was latest edition had come in 2018, that was the 4th edition, by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD. Innovation refers to a new or improved product or process or a combination of that differs significantly from the unit's previous products or processes, and that has been made available to potential users, that is reference to product, or brought into use by the unit, that is reference to the process. There are 5 main types of innovation. In fact, as per Oslo Manual, there are 4. But the 5th one was added by the United Nations after this movement for sustainable development goals started. So if we take that also into consideration, there are 5 main types of innovations: organizational innovation, process innovation, product innovation, marketing innovation, and eco innovation with sustainability approach. Organizational innovation refers to the development of a new organizational strategy that changes a company's business practices, as well as the way its workplace is organized and its relationship with external stakeholders is influenced. For example, first companies which adopted a 4-day week working schedule was an innovation, an organizational innovation. Or the first companies that started to use the digital power and allowed employees to skip the office and work from home. Again, this was an organizational innovation. When we talk about process innovation, it is about implementing a new or improved production or delivery approach, including the changes in operational methods, the techniques used, and the equipment or software. Say, for example, first firms or first companies betting on SaaS, that is software as a service technology, and using, for instance, cloud content centers from TalkDesk, changed the way their customer support processes used to be organized. Similarly, another example could be the first hotel or the hotels that decided to make decisions based on big data. So they decided to have access to the prospective customers based on big data. Same way that when we talk about product innovation, it is the introduction of a new or improved goods or services. The changes may be related to improving technical specifications, the materials or the software used, or even advancing on user experience. However, product innovations don't need to improve all functions or performance specifications. An improvement or addition of a new function can also be merged with the loss of other functions or the downgrading of some other specifications. A product innovation must add value in the product of potential users, but may not necessarily generate sales. It may not increase sales necessarily, but it must add value to the product for the potential users. Because of it, and innovations with low, if we focus on product innovations with reference to increase in the market share, then what will happen? Then innovations with low demand, or for instance, digital products like apps that are free, would be excluded. At the same time, routine changes or updates are not considered product innovation. When we see routine changes in products, those are not innovations, as they are only correcting errors or making some seasonal changes. So they are not referring to the innovations. The examples of product innovations could be, say, Lego has been material of its famous bricks to the biodegradable oil-based plastics. Similarly, first electric vehicles introduced in the car market were also an innovation. Fourthly, when we talk about marketing innovation, it means developing a new marketing strategy that produces changes in, for instance, the way a product is designed or packed, or even other decisions regarding price or promotion. For example, Hagen's has new waste-free container. And lastly, the fifth type of innovation, which was not given by Oslo Manual, but it has been ended by United Nations after this sustainable goals were established in 2015. It refers to an innovation resulting in significant progress towards the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals established by the United Nations. In practice, it means reducing the impact of our production modes on the environment, improving nature's resilience to environmental stresses, or relieving or achieving a larger, efficient, and responsible use of natural resources. In this way, we can say eco-innovation may create value in two different areas. First, from a sustainable development perspective, as it promotes sustainability throughout a product's entire life cycle. It helps to address challenges such as climate change, resource scarcity, and biodiversity. Second, it can also boost a company's performance and competitiveness by embracing new and greener processes, technologies, and services. Eco-innovation can help organizations access new markets, increase productivity and profitability across the value chain, strengthen their reputation, or attract new investors. For example, Procter & Gamble realized that householders could save on their electricity by switching to cold water washings and started developing cold water detergents. So basically, it's a product innovation. It also falls under eco-innovation. Similarly, as part of its sustainability strategy, ICIPPSD is changing its fleet to electric vehicles. So this again, it is a reference to process innovation, but it also falls under eco-innovation. Nestle's new paper-based straws as an alternative to plastic straws. So it's a marketing on emotion, but it also falls under eco-innovation because paper-based straws are made, not the plastic. So it becomes an alternative to plastic paper straws. The first companies concerned with the sustainability of their operations that decided to change their suppliers and partners, if they don't prove, they are also making efforts to become more sustainable. So again, this falls under organizational innovation, but it is also eco-innovation. In other words, as I mentioned, Oslo Manual prescribes 4 major types. But then this 5th category which has evolved, it is in a way encouraging sustainable development by also taking those products which are basically either product innovations or process innovations, marketing innovations or organization innovations. Now, finally, if we talk about some of the famous, well-known innovators, one of the recent names that comes to mind is Steve Jobs. He developed smartphone world with the iPad. Elon Musk has been making great progress on luxury electric cars. Nikola Tesla worked on the production, transmission, and application of electric power. So lastly, there are some important points which I feel our students and young delegates must note. That innovation is not a linear or sequential process. A prototype or idea product that does not yet exist is in general not a product innovation, as it doesn't meet the implementation requirement. This condition of putting into use or making available for the use of individuals, firms, or other organizations is what differentiates innovation from other concepts like invention. As I mentioned in the beginning, it's a very potential area of study which needs to be investigated further, which has a very great potential for studies across borders of the countries. That's why this theme becomes very topical, and I'm sure that by the end of this conference, by tomorrow evening, we will be having a better about innovation of products, processes, and even design. With these words, I wish happy learning to all the delegates and attendees. And also, once again, I extend a warm welcome to Professor Ramakrishnan. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. So in line to just what you said, even Steve Johnson, a famous science author, said that innovation doesn't come from giving people incentives, but it comes from creating an environment where their ideas can connect. Thank you, sir, for sharing your deep knowledge with us. Now I invite Honorable Chancellor Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Shri Purushottam Dasji Pasari, to bless us with his words of wisdom. Over to you, sir.
आदरणीय मुख्य अतिथि महोदय प्रोफेसर NS व्यास जी, अध्यक्ष टेक्नोलॉजी मिशन ऑफ रेलवेज, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रेलवेज, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, आदरणीय डॉक्टर श्रीराम रामकृष्णन, प्रोफेसर नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ सिंगापुर, श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति डॉक्टर उपिंदर धर, श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ ट्रस्ट के मानस सचिव श्री कमल नारायण जी बुरारिया, श्री वैष्णव सहायक ट्रस्ट के मानस सचिव आदरणीय श्री देवेंद्र कुमार जी मुच्छाल, श्री वैष्णव पारमार्थिक न्यास के समस्त ट्रस्टीगण, अतिथिगण, डायरेक्टर्स SVIT डॉक्टर नमित गुप्ता, हेड ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट डॉक्टर श्रीकांत पांडे, कॉन्फ्रेंस के संयोजक डॉक्टर राकेश मालवी, सभी डायरेक्टर्स, हेड ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट, फैकल्टी मेंबर्स एवं प्रिय विद्यार्थियों, मैं आप सभी का हमारे विश्वविद्यालय के द्वारा आयोजित की जा रही अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कॉन्फ्रेंस में हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। विशेष रूप से हमारे अतिथि द्वय प्रोफेसर NS व्यास जी एवं आदरणीय डॉक्टर श्रीराम रामकृष्णन का हार्दिक स्वागत एवं अभिनंदन करता हूं, जिन्होंने इस कॉन्फ्रेंस में आकर हमें गौरवान्वित किया है। कोरोना महामारी के कारण यह कॉन्फ्रेंस इस वर्ष ऑनलाइन मोड में आयोजित की जा रही है। यह अत्यंत प्रसन्नता का विषय है कि ऑनलाइन मोड में भी इस सम्मेलन में 100 से अधिक रिसर्च पेपर पढ़े जाएंगे। इस अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कॉन्फ्रेंस का उद्देश्य मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग के क्षेत्र में किए जा रहे नए प्रयोगों और कार्यों को आगे लाना है। शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में अनुसंधान, विचारों और तकनीकों की शुरुआतों में नई पीढ़ी में सकारात्मक बदलाव लाए हैं। इसने उन्हें अपने हित में काम करने के लिए नए नए अवसरों की विविधता प्रदान की है। मुझे उम्मीद है कि इस 2 दिवसीय अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कॉन्फ्रेंस के माध्यम से हम अपने शोध कार्य को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए दुनिया भर के शोधकर्ताओं एवं शिक्षाविदों को एक अभिनव मंच प्रदान करने में सक्षम होंगे। यह अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कॉन्फ्रेंस उत्पाद, प्रक्रिया और सिस्टम डिजाइन में नवाचारों की दिशा में मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग के भविष्य पर चर्चा के लिए एक अनूठा मंच प्रदान करेगी, जिससे कि छात्रों और शिक्षकों को सीखने और समाज की प्रगति में योगदान करने का अधिक अवसर मिल सके। बंधुओं, श्री वैष्णव ट्रस्ट एवं इसकी सहयोगी संस्थाओं ने गत 137 वर्षों में इंदौर शहर में नर सेवा, नारायण सेवा को मंत्र को आधार मानकर जन सेवा एवं जन कल्याण के अनेक प्रकल्प संचालित किए हैं। वर्ष 1884 में 137 वर्ष पूर्व इंदौर के वस्त्र व्यवसायियों ने स्वयं के व्यवसाय पर शैक्षिक टैक्स लगाकर श्री वैष्णव सहायक कपड़ा मार्केट कमेटी की स्थापना की थी। इसका मूल उद्देश्य असहाय बंधुओं तथा जरूरतमंद नागरिकों को सहायता करना, पशु पक्षियों को आहार देना एवं साधु संतों की सेवा करना था। सन 1951 में पहली बार ट्रस्ट द्वारा श्री क्लॉथ मार्केट वैष्णव हायर सेकेंडरी स्कूल की स्थापना की गई। इसके पश्चात 1962 में श्री वैष्णव पॉलिटेक्निक, 1967 में श्री वैष्णव वाणिज्य महाविद्यालय, 1981 में श्री वैष्णव बाल मंदिर, श्री 1987 में श्री वैष्णव प्रबंध संस्थान, 1992 में श्री वैष्णव कन्या विद्यालय, 1993 में श्री वैष्णव एकेडमी, 1995 में वैष्णव इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी तथा 2005 में श्री वैष्णव इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ लॉ एवं वैष्णव टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग कॉलेज महाविद्यालय स्थापित किया गया। सभी शासकीय औपचारिकताएं पूर्ण करने के पश्चात सन 2015 में श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय मध्य प्रदेश निजी विश्वविद्यालय स्थापना एवं संचालन अधिनियम के अंतर्गत स्थापित किया गया। आज इन सभी संस्थाओं में 21,000 से अधिक विद्यार्थी अध्ययनरत हैं। उल्लेखनीय है कि न लाभ न हानि के आधार पर संचालित ये सभी संस्थाएं अपनी प्रतिष्ठा से संपूर्ण देश और प्रदेश को गौरवान्वित कर रही है। श्री वैष्णव शैक्षणिक एवं पारमार्थिक न्यास द्वारा प्रतिवर्ष मेधावी छात्रों को स्कॉलरशिप, असहाय विद्यार्थियों को फीस में सहायता एवं निःशुल्क किताब कापियों का वितरण किया जाता है। साथ ही स्वास्थ्य के क्षेत्र में डायलिसिस के मरीजों को न्यूनतम दर 400 रुपए पर प्रति माह करीब 1000 डायलिसिस इंदौर शहर में 2 सेंटरों में किया जाता है। ट्रस्ट द्वारा विभिन्न सेवाओं के चल रहे प्रकल्पों में प्रतिवर्ष करीब 2 करोड़ रुपया समाज के सभी सेवा कार्यों में सहयोग दिया जाता है। श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय समाज के विभिन्न क्षेत्रों की जरूरतों को विविध विधाओं में उच्च शिक्षा के माध्यम से पूर्ण करने की ओर प्रयासरत है तथा स्थापना के अल्प समय में ही यह विश्वविद्यालय प्रादेशिक एवं राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर उन्नतिशील संस्थान के रूप में अपने आप को प्रतिष्ठित करने में सफल रहा है। विश्वविद्यालय में उत्कृष्ट तथा उच्च गुणवत्तापूर्ण प्रशिक्षण, अनुभवी प्राध्यापक, सर्व सुविधा युक्त प्रयोगशालाएं एवं अध्ययन तथा अध्यापन हेतु अनुकूल वातावरण छात्र छात्राओं को उपलब्ध है। विश्वविद्यालय में हम कई नवीन प्रोग्राम का संचालन कर रहे हैं, जिसमें रोबोटिक्स इंजीनियरिंग, रेलवे इंजीनियरिंग, बिग डाटा एनालिटिक्स, इंटरनेट ऑफ थिंग्स, IoT, मैक्रोट्रॉनिक्स, फॉरेंसिक साइंस, एग्रीकल्चर इंजीनियरिंग, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, सोलर एनर्जी जैसे कई नए कोर्सेस हैं। बदलते समय के साथ विद्यार्थियों को ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज तथा इंडस्ट्री की जरूरतों के हिसाब से भी नए विषय पढ़ाए जा रहे हैं। हम लगातार अपने विश्वविद्यालय में उत्कृष्ट एवं नवीन तकनीक से शिक्षण कार्य करा रहे हैं। अंत में मैं पुनः प्रोफेसर आदरणीय NS व्यास जी तथा आदरणीय डॉक्टर सीरम रामकृष्णन जी के प्रति हृदय में आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। उन्होंने अपने व्यस्तम समय में से अमूल्य समय इस अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कॉन्फ्रेंस के मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में हमें दिया है। साथ ही में डॉक्टर उपिंदर धर, डॉक्टर नमित गुप्ता तथा अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कॉन्फ्रेंस की पूरी टीम को बधाई देता हूं तथा प्रभु से मंगल कामना करता हूं कि कॉन्फ्रेंस सफल हो। इसी के साथ धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
अशिक्षित को शिक्षा दो, अज्ञानी को ज्ञान। शिक्षा से ही बन सकता है भारत देश महान। सर, आपके आशीर्वचनों के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। We are honored to have with us Professor C. Ramakrishna as keynote speaker. Before we invite him for the address, let us know about his professional journey. I request my colleague, Professor Ekta Tripathi, to introduce Professor C. Ramakrishna to the audience and invite him for the address.
Thank you so much, ma'am. सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। Professor Siram Ramakrishna is an elected fellow of UK Royal Academy of Engineering, Singapore, Indian National Academy of Engineering, and Association of Southeast Asian Nations. He is also an elected fellow of American Association of the Advancements of Science, American Society for Mechanical Engineers, American Institute for Medical and Biological Engineering. He is senior member of ICIPPSD. He received his PhD from University of Cambridge from United Kingdom. He received numerous recognitions, including Honorary Average Chair of Nepal. His academic leadership includes various distinguished responsibilities, such as Vice President of National University of Singapore, Dean of Faculty of Engineering, Director of National University of Singapore, founding co-director of National University of Singapore, Nanoscience and Nanotechnology Institute. He has established Global Water Center by General Electric, worth $100 million, as the Dean of Engineering at National University of Singapore. He served as a board member of several national organizations and policy institutes. He has a long list of achievements and awards to his credit. So I would like to request Professor Siram Ramakrishna to share his knowledge and research experience on future healthcare technologies as intelligent biomaterials and systems. Please, sir. Ramakrishna, sir.
Thank you. I'm trying to show my screen.
Yes, sir.
1 second. So, yeah, okay. I'm able to share the screen. Well, thank you, Ekta and Rakesh, for introducing me, as well as inviting me for this important conference. Let me begin by expressing my heartfelt congratulations as well as thanks to Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, and the leaders of the institution. After listening to Dr. Upender Dhar, I could have changed my topic to connecting science with life and healthy planet. Since I didn't know that he will be talking about sustainability, so I propose this topic, which is a healthcare and intelligent materials and systems. If you still feel I can give you a talk on connecting science and technology to life and sustainability, but choice is yours.
We leave it to your choice.
Yeah.
We are
Well, I
ready
think,
to listen to anything that you want to speak.
Okay. Well, I think I will change because you have been emphasizing sustainability. I believe that seems an interesting one for your institution. But before I do that, I'll ask Ekta, is that okay? Because you made the announcement.
Yes, sir, no problem. Sir, this topic was given to us. That's why I announced that particular one.
Okay,
We are
that's fine.
comfortable.
Okay, then. So I thought I will align to the topic proposed by your leader. So just give me 1 second, I'll open it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So this is normally what I give. And yeah. Okay, I will take exactly the similar amount of time, which is given to me 30 minutes. But I would like to combine a combination of sustainability and intelligent materials. The title would be Science and Technology for a Healthy Life and Planet. And as I was introduced, I'm from Singapore, a National University of Singapore. And Singapore is known as a nation by design. And I will explain that in detail. But similar to the Rakesh, who is involved with mechanical engineering, I'm a professor of mechanical engineering at the National University of Singapore. I do echo what your institution is trying to do is the most advanced knowledge, giving skills to the students. In mechanical engineering, we look at them as automation, robotics, and advanced manufacturing. So in some sense, in this lecture, I will connect with those topics. I also would like to say I'm a UNESCO expert group member on sustainability on higher education. So best way to start is look at the implications of COVID-19. On the right side of my screen, 3 important messages that come due to COVID-19 worldwide. Nobody is safe until everybody is safe. Mental health is not given, and it is to be cultivated. Care for Earth to ensure sustainability of life. But if you go much deeper, COVID-19 has given a lot more interesting insights about human life, and I will share with you what I think along the way. For example, to mitigate COVID-19, we've been asked to wear masks, we maintain social distancing, and there are vaccines. But you look at far right of the screen, you actually have air ionizers. An example is a plant naturally emits certain ions, and these ions actually scrub our air and make them more pollution-free. So if you apply electricity to the plant, they will release now 1 million times more charges so that they can scrub the air, which is polluted by viruses and other aerosols. And naturally, we have a better living environment. So a clear example how a nature by itself provides a good ecosystem, and innovations created by the human minds can be further enhance our living environment. And these are a variety of products. Some have been mentioned by Dr. Upinder there. These are devised by engineers. They're meant for filtration, ionization, deactivation, killing the viruses, as well as more recently the vaccines. Along with this, what else is happening is there is a shift in the way the human modern life is taking place. Mechanical engineers would know automation and robotics is picking up quite a bit of role in the manufacturing industry. The ongoing shift from physically demanding jobs to mentally demanding jobs means there is a more focus on our mental abilities. And now, because of COVID-19, 1 in 5 people in the world are mentally affected. That's primarily because of social distancing and also isolation. I've said in the beginning of the lecture, COVID-19 made us to think deeply. This one tells us what exactly is life and what is more important in life, and that reinforces that human relations are extremely important in a modern life. And to make this point much more interesting to you, Japan recently announced a new minister in charge of loneliness. 2 years ago, United Kingdom has also announced a minister for loneliness. And in India, we don't think about this deeply because of a different ecosystem. But it gives an importance how the human relations are essential for a high quality mental well-being. And then now I'm linking this to the sustainability. This is an article written by me in a Singapore's major newspaper. Yesterday was the World's Engineering Day. And the highlight of World's Engineering Day is engineering for a healthy planet. So this involves meeting United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which are 17 of them, and how we apply engineering and engineering principles and innovation so that modern life can be progressive. At the same time, we ensure planet Earth is healthy. So let me connect now science with sustainability. 2020 is the year, if we estimate all the manufactured products by human beings, the mass of them just increased more than all the biomass, living mass on planet Earth. It's the first time in the history of human beings this happened. So when Dr. Upinder there is talking about sustainability, it's really important. The reason is, never before human-made materials has exceeded the total biomass, living mass on planet Earth. That's a phenomenon. And then we go into, there's also an example given in terms of we use billions of mass every day now, and they're also protecting at the same time causing a waste disposal problem. Many countries around the world, recognizing this, announced plans for carbon neutrality by 2050. So carbon neutrality means we still progress, but the overall emissions from each country would not be higher than what they were emitting in a particular year. For example, some countries choose 2003, some countries choose 2015. But moving forward, total emission by each country would be reduced to the level called low carbon or carbon neutrality. So if you are an engineer studying at SVB University, you are looking for future opportunities. You could think of how to design future products, services that are built on carbon neutrality and low carbon principles. And to make this point clear, I will now go into an example cited by others. Bill Gates, everybody knows in India, he's now investing heavily on synthetic meat. So these are plant-based meat, is meant to reduce the overall carbon footprint. People in India, vegetarian is common, but people outside, they're mostly non-vegetarian. And amount of greenhouse gas emissions involved is substantial. So produce a plant-based meat, there is a total re-engineering of greenhouses, how we grow the plants, how we extract the nutrients, and we recompose them, cook them, and produce meat analogs which are desirable for human beings. And second one, you all familiar with Apple. Apple announced carbon neutrality by 2030 in the next 10 years. To give you a sense, Apple is a more than $1 trillion company. India's GDP right now is $3 trillion. So you give an idea, a company like Apple makes an announcement, they want to be carbon neutral, it is significant. It's not only Apple, Unilever, many other companies have announced similar plans. So the world, multinational companies are now looking at sustainability of planet and its health, in addition to improving their bottom line. And Singapore, where I am, and we have Singapore Green Plan 2030. In next 30 years, next 10 years, there would be massive changes in the way we go about our development. And Singapore is a country known to be developing by design. So these are more details in terms of what way the manufacturing industry think about these technologies. If you ask them the question in the next few years, the most impactful areas would be investing in sustainability, investing in Industry 4.0 technologies, and robotics and automation. And do you see this being the drivers for the future industry and industry transformation? And we found out a number of companies are going in this direction. And here is a UN contest where Singapore-based students, these are our students that establish startup companies. And I'm very sure SVB institution also have creative minds thinking along these lines. So if you're more interested, these are books written by me, Changing Pace of Innovation and Circular Economy. I do foresee a new frontier of innovation in sustainability. In a way, it's very similar to what Dr. Upinder said about sustainability. And if you want to, I know there are basic scientists listening to this talk. Please read the last line or last sentence where it said, if you have to reimagine all the products and services, that calls for a new science to going to the levels of atoms and molecules and redesigning products and our economic models. So that means new products, new materials, new services. So these are more details. I wouldn't go into it, how it can be done. As a material scientist, we do this research. And this is more evidence that worldwide such research is going on. And it's just more details how at our university, we are introducing sustainability concepts to engineering students. So now I connect science with life, and I also want to be mindful of the time given to me by Ekta so that I would not overrun my time. So let's talk about this one. As I'm speaking to you, Ekta is also thinking in her head, is he really going to finish on time? How do I manage this? If something goes wrong, what should I do? So these are all what we call per minute, 4 thoughts go through our mind, are about 6,000 thoughts per day. And most of the time, they're repetitive, and 80% of them have somewhat fearful or negative content. It is also known that research suggests 40% that affects our happiness is close to how we choose to think. If you see on the right side, you have a brain mapping, unstressed and stressed. In the case of stress, the brain will not give you a stronger control of thoughts and emotions and actions. When you are unstressed, like the Honorable Chancellor, you will have a tight control of thoughts and emotions and actions. So that's basically what is needed. So the question is how important it is to the students. Take a look at this one. This is what we call intelligence, how it changes with age. And a most interesting point is in the age 20 to 30 or 35, that's the time you have the peak intelligence. So all the students listening there, my advice to you is this is the best time. And this is your prime time when you are in the university. Make use of it, learn and apply your intelligence and become more creative. And if you want that into a more simpler way, what I call intellectual efficiency, you are precisely in that particular age group. So I think there's a lot of good news for you despite COVID-19. So make use of this time and learn and differentiate yourself. So now bring to the science into this. There's a lot of deep science concepts here. We work in these topics. You see there are lots of bubbles, and the middle is our thoughts and emotions. And there's one I highlighted. You could use your thinking and intentions to modify your thoughts and emotions. So now, can science and technology help you? Yes. Humans will have access to refined devices, systems, and methods to perceive and visualize one's thoughts and redesign one's mind and build psychological resilience. So this is the future. This is where the innovations are coming. So we are talking about the cutting edge innovations, and I have no doubt in my mind these innovations are coming. So these are examples of innovations: artificial intelligence, neural interfaces, quantum chips, quantum biology, psychedelics, wearables, and augmented brain. So in our labs, we grow mini brains where we use engineering principles, apply biology, produce pieces of brain. Similarly, you could have a mind visualizers connecting electromagnetic waves, brain waves, and you can decipher them and what you are thinking. And this is how it looks like in the future. We will have a lot more integration of these innovations into our body and brain. To convince you, again, I give the same example as Dr. Dare said. He was talking about Tesla and Elon Musk. Elon Musk, the richest man on the planet, he is also investing in a company called Neuralink. It's a company which makes the devices meant to interface with the human brain. That's the goal. On the right side, you see a 70-year-old woman, her brain held in the palm of two hands. That's exactly how a brain looks like. So in the future, you will have these devices who can interpret your thinking, some of your memories, and convert that into something useful for communication, also treating the people with diseases like Alzheimer's, dementia, and many others. And not only invasive, we are also talking about non-invasive wearables. Most of you are now wearing watches, and you can now imagine them to be monitoring your heart rate, respiration rate, body temperature, glucose levels, body motion. These are all possible now. So best example is Fitbit, which was recently bought by Google for more than $2 billion. The reason is Google understood that there's a lot more importance in providing vital information about human beings on the health. Even in COVID-19, in remote places, people are monitored by the doctors remotely from the vital signs using wearables. So in UK, because we are a remote work areas, they are thinking about this kind of devices. So you tell your boss, are you happy with his management? So in nutshell, the future of healthcare involves not only health and wellness, and it combines intelligent materials and systems. And to make this even more loud and clear, I experiment myself. You see an image of me on the left side, how I look like. If you have an animated version, and I would probably transform like the person on the right side. That's because there's a lot of changes happening in a variety of bodies and tissues of my body. And this is a function of gender, and a genetics, and a lifestyle, and a climate. So there's a lot of research is happening, and this is about bringing these messages. So using these advanced topics and advanced innovations, we could in the future modulate our thoughts. Perhaps we can mind our mind and make our thoughts work for us. An example here, see, there's a Singaporean student. He says, science is not like in movies. Science rewards those who are patient. So it's all about believing, having your passion, and applying your mind. So there's more details. In conclusion, I like to basically say, the last one, sustainability is a new paradigm of human actions, and sustainability provides opportunities for new businesses, new innovations, new products and services. In other words, when we are sustainable, we have a safe and healthy planet. So when it comes to the mind, there's a lot of new technologies are coming. So with these, you can mind your mind to achieve, to contribute, to be healthy and to be happy. So with that, I like to say, find those gaps in your own mind and the gap in the society, and see how you can differentiate and bridge that gap so that you are happy and we also have the planet health, which is happy. All I said has a lot of deep scientific principles behind them, but a lecture like this, which is meant for a generic introduction, I made it very overview, but I'm sure if you search the scientific literature, you can find a lot more details. Again, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's wonderful to be involved with your institution and engaging you through this my lecture. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. You rightly said that it is all about passion and applying our mind. Thank you, sir, for an enriching talk. There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation and hard work. With months of painstaking and continuous efforts, the team of the international conference has come up with the ebook of research papers. I request the technical team to facilitate the release of conference ebook. Hello. Ji sir. Hello. Today we are honored to have with us Professor N.S. Vyas, Chairman Technology Mission for Indian Railways, Ministry of Railways, Government of India as the chief guest. I again request my colleague Professor Ekta Tripathi to introduce our chief guest to the audience.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Um, Professor N.S. Vyas is currently working as a chairman, Technology Mission for Indian Railways, Ministry of Railways, Government of India. He is a professor in Mechanical Engineering Department, Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. He has worked as a Vice Chancellor of Rajasthan Technical University, Rajasthan, India. Professor Vyas also worked as Chairman, PARC Technology System Development Program, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. He was also the chairman of Expert Group on Smart Manufacturing Automation and ICT Advanced Robotics and IoT by Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. He has been member of various boards and advisory committees. He has also been head and coordinator of various departments such as Head of Center for Robotics, IIT Kanpur, Technology Mission on Railway Safety, Government of India. He has also worked on Jugnu project with ISRO and so on. He is also an editor of various national and international journals of equipment. It is a moment of pride and honor to have such an eminent personality with us today. I invite sir to share his words of wisdom with us. Please, sir.
Well, thank you, Ekta ji.
Thank you, sir.
I was contacted about this conference a long time ago by Malviya ji, and somehow nobody reminded me, and I got the note early in the morning today at about 10 o'clock. And see, I am on a road journey from Kanpur to Bhopal. You can see the car that I'm traveling in, but nevertheless, it is. I will go ahead with whatever I could pull out from the cloud for this talk, and whatever is available on my smartphone for this lecture. It is also a marvel of technology that despite being such a situation, I'm in a place which is very close to Jhansi at the moment on the road. So if you allow me to share my screen,
Yes, sir.
I will, if you allow me to share my screen, I will see if I can present something. And you'll have to bear with me if there is any discontinuity in the talk or in the presentation. I will switch back to an extempore discussion with you. So let me start sharing my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
No, sir.
Not yet?
Not yet, sir.
Okay. Now?
No, sir. Your screen is still not visible.
Now?
No, sir.
Just hold on for a minute.
Yes, sir, sure.
Now you can see it.
No, sir, it's not visible still.
Just a minute. Share screen. Screen. Start now. Can you see it now?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, good. So, all right. Is it possible for you to see the screen?
Yeah, sir, it's clearly visible.
Okay, very good, very good. So I will talk about the technology mission for Indian Railways. And this is a talk that I could pull out from the cloud, which I had delivered a few days ago on managing, designing, and analytics of large systems, of very large systems. And railways is one of the large systems, a large engineering system. For example, if we look at Indian Railways, we have a route of nearly 64,600 kilometers. We have a track of 1,25,000 kilometers. We run nearly 14,000 passenger trains per day at any instant of time. At this instant of time, in COVID times, I'm not sure, but in normal times, we are running at any instant of time 14,000 passenger trains in the country. At any instant of time, in India, we have 6,000 goods trains. We transport 1.6 crore passengers every day, which is equivalent to the population of a medium-sized European nation. It is that order of population that we are transporting lock, stock, and barrel from one point to another point through the railways. We transport 20 lakh tons of freight every day. We have nearly 10,000 railway stations and sidings. We have 1,30,000 railway bridges, 9,600 locomotives, approximately 10,000 locomotives, 60,000 coaches, 2,40,000 goods wagons, and 13.6 lakh employees. By any standard, railways is the largest engineering industry in the country today. Our railways is, if not the second largest after China, maybe the third largest railways in the entire world. Its scope encompasses electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, telecommunications, signals, microtechnology, nanotechnology, chemistry, you name it, and you have an application for your engineering and your science in the railways, and more so in the Indian Railways. Modeling systems in railways, designing systems in railways, and dealing with the amount of data that is available on an everyday basis, not just everyday basis, on an every hour basis in the Indian railways is a huge, huge issue in engineering and analytics. The technology mission for Indian Railways, with which I am associated for the last 3 or 4 years, is an initiative by the government of India to address issues on need to pool relevant expertise and resources available in various research organizations and academic institutions in order to address these issues in an efficient manner. Like the earlier programs, national programs on space and defense research, unfortunately, we did not have any national program on railways. We did have programs in space, we did have programs in defense. Unfortunately, we did not have a national program in railways, and that is the gap that this technology mission attempts to fill in. There have been many spin-offs from the missions and the programs on space and defense, and it is expected that the technologies that takes place in the technology of Indian Railways help not just the Indian Railways, but we are able to build a framework which has spin-offs in many other areas, especially in the area of transportation, be it road transportation or water transportation, including air transportation. The technology mission on Indian Railways, as I said, similarly helps to focus attention and drive technology programs on significant national importance. So in this technology mission, which was announced in the year 2015 and 16, our focus is to take up R&D projects in the area of safety, heavy haul, high speed, metro rail, and energy and environment. And we try to achieve this through setting up centers of excellence, research programs, initiating postgraduate programs, and also through international collaboration. We have in this mission Ministry of Railways, Ministry of Human Resource Development, which now is called Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Science and Technology, with a consortium of industries which are active in the domain of Indian Railways. If you look at the R&D ecosystem for well, this is a complex chart which I could pull from the previous presentation, but may not be very relevant here. It shows different agencies from the Ministry of Railways, their divisions, their zones, their research and development unit, which is called RDSO, the Railway Board, then the NITI Aayog, the Ministry of HRD, Ministry of Science and Technology, and various research centers at Centers for Railway Research at other IITs, national institutes, and CSIR labs are involved. And how we define projects in this chart, you see that in the first column, you see the priority areas, target areas, like heavy haul. We want to increase the load carrying capacity for our axles. The load carrying capacity of the axles in the Indian Railways is about 20 tons per axle. The rest of the world, this load carrying capacity is of the order of 30 to 35 tons. We have a wheel which has a size of approximately 1 meter, while in the rest of the world, the wheel size is much smaller, which is probably 70 centimeters or 80 centimeters, depending on where you are operating it. So despite having a larger wheel, our load carrying capacity per axle is very low. There's a lot of design innovation that is required here. So as you see in the first row, which says rolling stock, tracks and bridges, signals and communications, operations and IT, sensors, instrumentation and health management and materials. If you want to increase the load carrying capacity, that means if you are looking at the first row, you need to work in the area of rolling stock. Rolling stock means that everything that rolls on the track, which may be a locomotive or an engine as we call it, it may be a wagon, it may be a passenger coach, it may be a tanker. Design innovations are required in rolling stock if you want to increase the load carrying capacity. Design innovations are required in tracks and bridges. You need to modify the tracks, you need to modify bridges. Before trying to modify tracks and bridges, you would like to evaluate their current status and their health. You need better signals and communication. You need better operations and IT. You need to do something in the area of sensors, instrumentation, health management, and you also would like to deploy better materials which are equal in strength but which are lighter in weight. The same is the case for high-speed trains. The average speed of the fast trains in the country is approximately 85 kilometers an hour, while China is touching 400 kilometers an hour today. Most of the developed world, whether it is Europe, the United States, Australia, South Korea, Japan, trains have a speed of anything between 250 kilometers an hour to 350 kilometers an hour. We are still struggling at 85 kilometers an hour. So you realize the amount of work that is required through innovation, through design, through manufacturing, through implementation if you wish to increase the speed of the trains through development of indigenous technology. Importing it is another issue. Importing it and installing it lock, stock, barrel in the country is another issue, but that is not a solution for a developing country like ours because it comes at a very, very high cost. You can go through all the other rows and columns and see the domains in which there is a large amount of activity which needs to be taken up in the country. Whether it is taken up at the academic institutions like yours and ours, whether it is taken up in the CSIR research labs of the country, the DRDO labs, or in private organizations. A massive amount of work is yet to be envisaged and undertaken. When we talk of such large systems like railways, the current focus in our activities is integration. How do you integrate the information and design related issues of say rolling stock with signaling, signaling with communication, communication with geoengineering and geotechnology. Integration also involves integration of hardware, various pieces of hardware, sensors, data for large systems, obviously. Parameter extraction. What are the key performance indices on of say any component or a subsystem? How do you say that a particular bogie is good? What are the performance indices? How do you say that a particular bridge is able to withstand high axle load and high speed? Certain key performance indices need to be stated, and they need to be evaluated for each of these subsystems. For that, you need to extract parameters. You have a large amount of data. If assume that if all our coaches and all our wagons and all our railway stations, 10,000 railway stations, 10,000 passenger trains, each train carrying 24 coaches, and your 8,000 to 9,000 wagons, they are all communicating data to a centralized server, which they are doing right now, many of them. If not through sensorization, but data is being punched in at various railway stations by various people the hard way. There's a huge amount of data which is streaming in at every second. What do you do with this data? How do you use this data to improve your efficiency, to improve the scheduling and operation of trains, to improve the scheduling and maintenance of your tracks and bridges and railways? All this is happening. All this is going to come. Whether we like it or not, it is going to happen in the next 3 to 4, 5 years. The only question is whether you are going to have a role in this, or it is going to be provided by somebody sitting in Germany or France or the United States to you. Industry 4.0 is another buzzword these days, and it refers to integration of cyber physical systems. Cyber is something which has to do with computer technology, which has to do with information technology, data processing, and algorithms. And physical system is something as physical as a road, as a structure, as a bridge, as an automobile. How do you perform a marriage between a structure or a physical system and a computer system? How do you make civil engineering, for example, talk to electronics, and electronics to civil engineering? Or how do you make a mechanical system talk to electronic system, and vice versa? When you start integrating this, you enter into realms of design and dynamics of component and system. I'll end in about 5 minutes. You deal with manufacturing systems, you deal with Internet of Things. Internet of Things would involve sensors, data acquisition, signal processing, deep learning, reliability, availability, reliability and sustainability of engineering, which is called RAM. I will skip all this, which maybe if you invite me in a more convenient situation, I'll be able to talk about this. But there are many similarities between aerospace systems and automotive systems and the railway system. I'll skip all this and come to my last slide. You see here that railways is a system of systems, and these many systems are interacting with each other through exchange of data, exchange of information, and so on and so forth. Managing such huge systems requires, earlier it was being done manually. Now you require large software platforms which are integrated to each other and which can talk to each other. I would rather end at this point rather than, because it is going to take me a lot of time sliding through all this on my mobile phone. I if I can go to my last slide. Even as I slide through all this, you can see the enormity of the engineering, real life engineering systems, how big they are, and what it involves. It is not a Mickey Mouse activity, which generally is painted as engineering. It involves a lot of hard work and detailed analysis. Just look at this scheduling part. On the right hand side, you see the Kanpur railway station. Kanpur railway station has 10 platforms, and you have 250 trains coming from one side and going to the other side, and then vice versa, one from the second side to the first side in 24 hours. And they have their own timetables, they have their own schedule of platforms. Even if one train gets delayed by 2 minutes, the entire schedule goes haywire. And when you look at scheduling, we have locomotive scheduling, coach scheduling, driver scheduling, platform scheduling, track usage scheduling, maintenance scheduling, so on and so forth. Synergizing these things is being done. That is how a system functions. But if you want to improve efficiency, if you want to improve your throughput, all this needs to be automated. You need to design systems this is, imagine the amount of work and the data that it would concern if it is to be done on a nationwide scale or a country as big as India. So the challenge is in front of you. It is asking for your participation, your cooperation, and your collaboration in a variety of ways. I would like to stop here, and in case you have any questions, I can field them. Otherwise, I will request you to allow me to close. Thank you.
If there are any questions on the panelist side.
I think it was an excellent presentation. Thank you very much, Professor Vyas, for taking all this trouble while you are traveling.
So nice to see you.
Thank you.
Professor Vyas, can I ask you a question?
Indore is my hometown, so I so readily agreed. But unfortunately,
Professor,
there was some lack of communication because of it. So
You have made it so nice of you. We used to
thank
be
you.
together
Look forward to-
simultaneously when I was in Jaipur, Vice Chancellor of JK Lakshmipat University. You were Vice Chancellor of
Yes.
Rajasthan Technical University, same time.
Yes, I was. Yes, I remember interacting with you, and it was a
Yes,
very
yes.
pleasant interaction, Professor.
Yeah, thank you.
I think there is one question from the panelist side.
Yes.
I think it's we want to respect you by asking a question, Professor Vyas.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Yeah, the question is
Yes.
in
It's
terms
Professor
of
Ramakrishna from Singapore.
Yeah, I could sit through a part of his talk.
Okay.
yeah. So I'm just
on the
asking
health
about in terms of carbon footprinting. Do you do that for Indian Railways?
Yes, we have started this activity, and well, the debate that has been very hot over the past 2-3 years is replacement of the diesel motive power with electrical engine. We have still we have about 30 or 40% of our motive force coming from diesel, and we have diesel locomotive factories which are of which have been set up rather recent, and now with this emphasis on electric mobility, it is a big dilemma for the Indian Railways how to. So the issue of carbon footprint is also related to the investment that has already taken place, not earlier, but it has been of a very recent past, and a lot of technology technology investment has gone into it with Alstom and with Bombardier, other companies. So somehow balance is to be stricken there. This is the primary issue of. There are other issues like NVA and life cycle management of especially rolling stock and mainly rolling stock and tracks and bridges. So life cycle management, remaining life estimation are all linked with the problem of energy and environment. So yes, but we are aware and conscious of this and driving towards electric mobility.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So nice to.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your valuable and practical insights about Indian Railways. Sir, it will really be a pleasure for us to listen to you in future events also. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. But that will have to be physical then.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now I invite Honorary Secretary Shri Vaishnav Trust, Shri Kamal Narayanji Buradia, to propose words of thanks. Over to you, sir.
आज की हमारी इस इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑन इनोवेशन इन प्रोडक्ट प्रोसेस एंड सिस्टम डिजाइन के मुख्य अतिथि माननीय प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर NS व्यास जी, चेयरमैन टेक्नोलॉजी मिशन फॉर इंडियन रेलवेज, कॉन्फ्रेंस के कीनोट स्पीकर प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर श्रीराम कृष्ण, को डायरेक्टर NUS NHJ, वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय के माननीय कुलपति श्री पुरुषोत्तम दास जी पसारी, कुलपति डॉक्टर उपेंद्र धर जी, वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय न्यास के समस्त सम्माननीय ट्रस्टीगण एवं पदाधिकारीगण, विश्वविद्यालय के निर्देशकगण, HODs, faculty members, delegates, प्यारे छात्र छात्राओं, organizing secretary Dr. Rajesh Kumar Malviya and Dr. Namit Gupta. आज हम अत्यंत ही गौरवान्वित हैं कि आज हमारी इस ऑनलाइन इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस में टेक्नोलॉजी मिशन फॉर इंडियन रेलवे के चेयरमैन डॉक्टर प्रोफेसर NS व्यास मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में उपस्थित हैं। डॉक्टर व्यास जी का जीवन हम सभी के लिए एक प्रेरणादायी पुस्तक के समान है। आज हमारे ये सौभाग्य है कि उनके ज्ञान का लाभ हमें सहज रूप से प्राप्त हुआ है। हम उनके बहुआयामी व्यक्तित्व के प्रकाश में हम सब अभिभूत हैं। निश्चय ही हमारी इंडियन रेलवे उनके नेतृत्व में नित्य नई टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ देशवासियों की सेवा करेगी। आपके ज्ञान एवं अनुभव से ये हमारा उभरता हुआ विश्वविद्यालय समृद्ध हुआ है। निश्चय ही इससे हम हमारे विजन एवं रिसर्च के क्षेत्र में विस्तार होगा। पूरा विश्वविद्यालय सर आपके प्रति अपना आभार व्यक्त करता है। आज हम इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस में हमारे कीनोट स्पीकर श्री रामकृष्ण जी का भी मैं आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। सर, आपकी गरिमा में उपस्थिति से हमारे कार्यक्रम की शोभा बढ़ाई है तथा हमारे आपके विराट ज्ञान का हमें लाभ प्राप्त हुआ है। मैं कार्यक्रम संयोजक डॉक्टर राजेश कुमार मालवी, नमित गुप्ता जी, पूरी ऑर्गेनाइजिंग टीम, कॉन्फ्रेंस में ऑनलाइन उपस्थित सभी फैकल्टीज, HODs, डायरेक्टर्स और डेलीगेट्स सभी एवं विशेष रूप से कुलाधिपति श्री पसारी जी एवं कुलपति डॉक्टर उपेंद्र धर का भी आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। मैं पुनः आज के कॉन्फ्रेंस के मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर NM व्यास जी एवं कीनोट स्पीकर का रामकृष्ण जी का आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। सर, मैं आपके लिए यही कहूंगा, मिलते हैं मन्नतों से ऐसे महिमा कभी कभी, हो जाती है किस्मतें यूं मेहरमा कभी कभी। सर, हमारा आप दोनों से एक निवेदन है कि आप हमारे विश्वविद्यालय में प्रत्यक्ष रूप से पधारें, क्योंकि कहते हैं कि दिल अभी भरा नहीं। आपसे अभी हमारा दिल भरा नहीं है सर, कहते हैं कि दिल अभी भरा नहीं। आप हमारे इंदौर जो कि स्वच्छता में पूरे देश में 4 बार प्रथम स्थान प्राप्त कर चुका है। हम तो चाहते हैं कि अभी ड्राइव करके आप सीधे इंदौर पधार जाएं भोपाल से। एवं आज हम आपको पुनः आह्वान करते हैं कि सर आप प्रत्यक्ष रूप से हमसे हमारे पास अवश्य पधारें, हमारा निवेदन अवश्य स्वीकार करें। आप जैसे महानुभावों का इकबाल और बुलंद हो। आप तो देश की धरोहर है सर। हमारा विश्वविद्यालय परिवार आपके लिए मंगल कामना करता है कि आप स्वस्थ रहें और हम देश की निरंतर सेवा करते रहें। रेलवे, जैसा कि हम देख रहे हैं 3-4 साल में रेलवे की टेक्नोलॉजी में जबरदस्त परिवर्तन आया है और उसमें आपका योगदान हमें स्पष्ट रूप से दिख रहा है। और आगे भी हमारी जो रेलवे, जो कि देश की सबसे महत्वपूर्ण उद्योग इंडस्ट्री है, उसमें नए नए इनोवेशन आपके नेतृत्व में सर आएंगे। मैं श्री रामकृष्ण जी का भी, क्योंकि वो तो उनमें श्री राम है, उनमें राम दिखता है, ऐसे रामकृष्ण जी का भी मैं पुनः आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। सभी को पुनः बहुत बहुत आभार, धन्यवाद, जय हिंद। Thank you very much, sir.
With this, we come to the end of inaugural session. I request everyone to rise for the national anthem. I request the technical team to play the AV.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा, तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा, जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
भारत माता की जय। Thank you all. Now, I request all the participants to join their respective sessions on the shared links.
I
Thank
think
you.
inaugural is over, so we can exit.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank you, sir.
Professor Ram. Thank you.
Thank you, Sriram.
Thanks, Professor Vyas.
Thank you, Vyas,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.